Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I'd love it if you could leave a comment letting me know where you're listening from around the world. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe if you're enjoying this video. Story 1. I never used to notice my windshield that much. Not until the morning, I found a small piece of paper tucked under the wiper, like a parking ticket. You're beautiful when you're angry. No name. No smiley face, just those 7 words scribbled in black ink. I remember looking around the parking lot, half laughing, half confused. It felt like some dumb prank, maybe one of my coworkers playing a joke. I tore it up, tossed it in the glove box, and drove to work. But the next day, another note. Love the red lipstick today. I hadn't even left the car when I saw it. It was folded neatly, wedged under the blade like the first. I looked down at my reflection in the rearview mirror. Red lipstick, just as the note said. That didn't feel like a joke anymore. Still, I tried to shake it off. Told myself it had to be someone from the building. Maybe someone with a crush and 0 social skills. It was creepy, yeah, but not threatening. Not yet. The third note came 2 days later. You look sad. Want to talk? Now, I was starting to feel sick. That morning, I'd been crying. Not loudly, not dramatically. Just silent tears while I got dressed. I'd had a rough night. I'd barely slept. How the hell can anyone know that? I started checking over my shoulder every time I left my apartment. I parked in a different spot, further down the street. I made sure I was never walking home in the dark. But the notes didn't stop. Nice pajamas. Blue suits you. I froze when I read that one. It felt like the blood drained from my body all at once. I knew exactly which pajamas he meant. Light blue cotton with little white stars. I wore them the night before. Inside, with the blinds halfway closed. I dropped the note and backed away from my car. My hand was shaking so bad I could barely get the key in the door. That night, I didn't sleep. I sat on the floor with the lights off, peeking through the gap in the curtains. I clutched a kitchen knife and tried not to breathe too loudly. Every shadow outside made my heart hammer. The next morning, I called in sick. I didn't even want to leave the apartment. But around noon, I forced myself to go down to the car. I had this awful feeling that I needed to check it. There was no note. There was a photo. It was glossy, high quality, professionally printed. And it was me, in bed, asleep, face half buried in the pillow, mouth slightly open, blankets tangled around my legs. It was taken through my bedroom window. I screamed. I actually dropped to my knees in the parking lot, clutching the photo in my fist and screaming until someone came running. That was the moment I broke. The police came. They listened. They looked at the photo and finally took me seriously. For once, I wasn't just some girl being dramatic. They found him 4 days later. He was the night janitor in the building across from mine. Lived on the 5th floor. Single. Quiet. The kind of man people said kept to himself. He had a long lens camera set up in his kitchen, pointing directly at my window, tucked behind his curtains like a sniper. There were notebooks filled with observations, timelines, sketches, a calendar with red circles around random dates. I never found out what those meant. Worst of all, they found hundreds of photos, not just of me in bed, but me cooking, brushing my teeth, changing clothes, dancing like an idiot when I thought no one could see. He had watched me live my entire life without me ever knowing. They arrested him, charged him with stalking, harassment, and illegal surveillance. And that should have been the end. But it wasn't. Because now, even though he's locked up, I don't feel safe anymore. I've moved apartments. Twice. I keep all my blinds closed, even during the day. I've covered the windows with thick blackout curtains. I sleep with a bat beside my bed and a camera pointed at my front door. But none of that helps when the fear lives inside you. Sometimes I wake up and swear I hear the click of a camera. Sometimes I catch a flash of movement in the corner of my eye. Sometimes I dream of those notes. Not new ones. The same ones. Over and over and over. You're beautiful when you're angry. And in the dream, I'm always angry. But never alone. Story 2. I was already a little drunk when I stumbled out of the bar and into the heavy city night. It was that kind of humid darkness where streetlights looked like they were sweating and everything smelled like a mix of car exhaust and old beer. My friends were still inside, dancing and laughing like we were still 20, not creeping into our 30s. But I had work in the morning and a mild headache forming behind my left eye, so I dipped out and called an Uber. The app said 3 minutes. The car that pulled up was a silver Toyota Camry. Clean, too clean. You know, the kind where the windows look like they've been wiped down obsessively, where the inside smells not like air freshener, but like sterile wipes and rubber. The driver leaned over and gave me this big, toothpaste commercial smile. "Hey there, you must be Kayla. I've got you." His voice was friendly, too friendly, like the guy who smiles a second too long, or who uses your name even though you didn't tell him it yet. I got in, figuring maybe I was just being paranoid. My phone was at 16%, and I still had about 15 minutes before I got home. The first couple of minutes were normal enough. He confirmed the address and merged into traffic. Then he started talking. "I like your laugh. It's warm. Familiar. That was weird. I hadn't laughed. You've got great shoes. Real classy. You always dress this nice for a night out." I gave him a short, forced laugh and turned to look out the window, but I could feel his eyes on me through the rearview mirror, watching me. I grabbed my phone and pretended to take a call, just to avoid conversation. He stopped talking after that, but the silence wasn't comforting. It was thick, like he was just waiting, thinking. When we got to my building, he didn't say goodbye. He just looked at me through the mirror again, like he was memorizing my face. I hurried inside, locked the door behind me, and told myself to shake it off. Creepy Uber rides happen all the time, right? I was being dramatic. But the next morning, that silver Camry was parked across the street from my building. Engine off, just sitting there. I watched it from my window. 15 minutes. 30. It didn't move. Then it was gone. I told myself it wasn't the same one. Couldn't be. It's a common car. Silver is the most boring color in the world. But the next evening, it was there again. I started paying attention. It didn't show up every day, just enough to keep me on edge. I didn't tell anyone. Not yet. Then the text started. "Unknown number. You look stressed today. Want me to help you relax?" I froze. Then another one. "Saw you bought yogurt at the store. Still your favorite." I dropped my phone. How did he know that? I'd gone to the store 2 hours ago. I hadn't seen anyone. No one had spoken to me. No one had followed me. "I'm not going away. You'll get used to me." That's when the shaking started. In my hands. My knees. The kind of fear that feels like it's crawling up your spine, settling into the back of your skull. I called Uber. They deactivated him. Told me he'd violated policies, that they took harassment seriously. But that didn't stop the silver car from appearing outside my gym the next morning, or outside my office 2 days later, or outside my dad's place, an hour out of town, where I went just to feel safe for a weekend. I finally told my brother. He didn't say much, just stared at me for a long time like he was trying not to explode. Then he called two of his old college buddies, guys who looked like they bench pressed steel beams for breakfast. They waited with me, in the dark, 2 floors up from my apartment. Lights off, curtains cracked. The car rolled up at 1:46 a.m. He didn't even try to hide it anymore. Just sat there, engine running, windows down, staring at my building. When the guys ran outside, he panicked, threw the car into reverse, and backed straight into a fire hydrant. My brother yanked open the door before he could recover, dragged him out into the street. I called the cops. They showed up fast, and when they searched the car, that's when things went from creepy to nightmarish. There was a folder in the back seat, thick, packed with photos of me. Some printed from social media, others taken with a telephoto lens. Me at the gym, grocery store, walking my dog, sitting in my car picking my nose, asleep at my desk. There were notes, too, scribbled on the back of receipts, napkins, even a page torn from a Bible. She smiled at me today. I think she's starting to understand. She wore blue again. I told her it was my favorite. Soon, the officers also found a small duffel bag in his trunk. Inside, zip ties, latex gloves, duct tape, and a hunting knife. They didn't say it out loud, but I knew what they were thinking, what he was planning, what might have happened if I'd ever let my guard down. He was arrested that night, charged with stalking, harassment, possession of illegal weapons, and God knows what else. But none of that helped me sleep. Even now, months later, I don't take ride shares. I walk when I can, or I get friends to drive. I keep my phone fully charged and carry pepper spray in my purse. I moved apartments, changed jobs. I even dyed my hair and deleted all my social media. But some nights when the wind sounds just like a car idling outside, I get that feeling again, that itch between the shoulder blades, that crawling dread that someone is watching me. Sometimes, just for a second, I look out the window, and I swear I see a silver Camry, just sitting there, waiting. Story 3. I never thought playing horror games could invite actual horror into my life. It started small, like all real nightmares do. I had a tiny following on Twitch, just enough to keep my evenings lively. A few dozen regulars, some die-hard fans, the kind who knew my dog's name, my favorite energy drink, and how often I rage quit. I streamed 5 nights a week from my one-bedroom apartment, set up jammed in the corner of the living room, green screen half hanging behind me like a shower curtain I never fully installed. It was routine, safe, familiar. Then one night, someone new joined the stream. Username, Watcher in Dark. Didn't say a word. No chat, no emoji, no donation. Just there. From the moment I hit start streaming to the second I ended, Watcher in Dark was there. At first, I didn't care. Lurkers are common. Some people just watch. No big deal. But they showed up again the next night. And the night after that. Same deal. No chat. No interaction. Just a name sitting in my viewer list like a cold breath on the back of your neck. I made a joke about it after the 3rd day. Shout out to my new ghost viewer. I laughed. Hey, Watcher in Dark. Blink twice if you're haunting my stream. Chat found it hilarious. Emojis, laughing gifs, people tagging the name. I played along, laughed too, but when I ended the stream, my chest felt tight. I told myself it was nothing, maybe too much caffeine, or too much horror, but the name kept showing up. Every single night, never missed a stream. I even tested it once, started my stream early, unannounced. Within 30 seconds, Watcher in Dark popped in. My regulars noticed too. They started commenting. This dude got alerts wired to your soul, or something. One guy joked, maybe it's just you on an alt account. But I wasn't laughing anymore. I got paranoid. Started keeping my blinds closed. Kept the lights on at night, even in the bathroom. I didn't want to admit it, but I felt watched. Not just online. In real life. Like there were eyes just beyond the walls, peeking through cracks in the drywall. Then came the night my game crashed. I was halfway through a stream, playing Phasmophobia, ironically enough. Just me, a flashlight, and ghosts. Suddenly, my game froze. Camera glitched. Black screen. Audio hiccuped. Then it came back. Everything was normal. For about 3 seconds. Then my chat blew up. Dude, someone just walked behind you. Who TF is that in your hallway? No, no, I'm out. I froze. My mouth went dry. I tried to laugh it off. Y'all trolling me again. But I rewound the footage, played it frame by frame, and I saw it. Just a sliver of movement, a silhouette, right in the hallway behind me. Not a shadow, a figure, tall still watching. The lights were dim, but there was something there. I turned around live on stream, holding the only weapon I had, a stupid plastic replica knife from a past Halloween stream. Of course, there was nothing there. I ended the stream and didn't sleep. Next morning, I found my front door lock cracked, like someone had tried to force it. It's still latched, but it scraped when I turned the knob now. My ring light was tilted to the side, angled down like someone taller had moved it. I always keep it level. It's habit, muscle memory. Then I went to the bathroom and saw it, written on the inside of my fogged-up mirror, in long, dragging letters like someone used their finger. You never noticed me. That was it. I didn't pack, didn't overthink it. I booked a motel and left everything behind except my phone and car keys. The next day, I canceled my lease and moved 2 towns over. Got a new apartment. No windows facing the street. No streaming setup. Not even a webcam. I ghosted my fans. No goodbye video. Just vanished. Weeks passed. I started sleeping better. No more cold chills. No feeling of being watched. I was almost ready to believe it had all been in my head. Paranoia. A bad coincidence. Multiplied by isolation and late-night gaming. Then, one night, weeks later, I checked my email. I don't even know why. Curiosity, maybe. Regret. One unread message. No subject line. No preview. Just an email address I didn't recognize. I opened it. The body of the message was empty. But there was one sentence in the signature. You look lonely without your audience. It was signed. Watcher in Dark. Now I hear things some nights. Creaks on the stairs. Light scratching near the bedroom window. And the worst part, sometimes when I wake up in the middle of the night, I find my phone's front camera is on, recording, and I swear I didn't press anything. I haven't told anyone. What would I say? I just keep the curtains drawn, the lights on, and the camera lens covered with a sticker. And every night before I go to bed, I whisper into the dark. Please, just watch someone else.